All right, let's look at the homework at 2.5, problem number 7. All right, so we want to find the point where this function has a horizontal tangent line. All right, so let's do that. All right, so we have this function here. All right, so first thing is we're looking for the place where we have a horizontal tangent line, right? So what does that mean? So if it's a horizontal tangent line, then we know that the horizontal line has a slope 0. So we know that the slope has to be 0. Right? If the slope is 0, we know that the derivative has to be 0, since derivative tells us about the slope of the tangent line. All right, so let's find the derivative of this function first. All right, before we take the derivative, I don't like square roots, so I'm going to write 6x squared plus x minus 2, which is in a quantity, and then 1/2 power, because square root is equivalent to 1/2 power. So we can rewrite it this way. All right, so let's find the derivative. So we have f prime of x is equal to, all right, so first thing I would do is I'm going to put 1/2 in front. So I'm going to put 1/2 in front of it, right? Then keep the same quantity. So I'm going to just put this exactly the same quantity right after that. So we don't change the inside function untouched, right? Right. Then we subtract 1 from 1/2. So it's going to be negative 1/2 power. All right. So we got that. Then since the chain rule, we still have to multiply by the derivative of inside function. Oops, sorry, inside function. All right. So derivative of 6x squared would be, let's see, 2 times 6 is 12. So it's going to be 12x, right? And then derivative of x is 1. So I'm going to put the plus 1, right? And then derivative of negative 2 is 0. Actually, I'm putting a dot in a wrong place. All right, I'm going to fix that. All right, so we have that. All right, so this is the derivative. All right, if you rewrite that, we're going to get this. Let's see. So let's see who's going to be upstairs. We know that 12x plus 1 is going to be upstairs, right? So I'm going to put a fraction, but we have a 12x plus 1 is going to be upstairs, right? And then you see that there's a 2 on the bottom, so I'm going to put a 2 on the bottom right there, right? So here, since we have a negative power, 6x squared plus x minus 2 is going to be downstairs, right? So I'm going to just put that in there, right? Let's see, I'm going to put that downstairs, right? And then we still have to raise it to 1/2 power. So we can either put the 1/2 power or you can put the square root. That doesn't matter. All right, so we have that. All right, so this is the derivative, and we need to set this guy equal to 0. All right. Then, in order to make this whole fraction equal to 0, we don't really care about the denominator as long as it's not 0. So we just have to worry about making 12x plus 1 equal to 0. So we're going to end up getting, so 12x plus 1 equaling 0. All right, so that's the equation. And then we just need to solve it. It's pretty easy to solve, right? So first thing is I'm going to get rid of the positive 1 by subtracting 1 from both sides. So we're going to get the 12x is equal to negative 1, sorry, right? So we got that. And then we're going to divide through by. So I'm going to, let's see, divide through by 12. So I'm going to divide by 12. Right? So let's do that. All right. Then you're going to get the 1 is equal to, sorry, not 1, x is equal to negative 1 over 12, right? So we get that, right? So once you have an x value, let's say x is equal to negative 1 over 12. So let's type it in. Right, x value is 1 over, negative 1 over 12, right? Then we need to find the f of negative 112, right? So let's compute that. All right, so we need to find the y value, corresponding y value. So let's do that. So in order to find the y value, all we have to do is plug in negative 1 over 12 into the original function. So we need to compute this, right? So let's plug it in. So you're going to get the, let's see, we're going to have a square root, right? So square root, and let's see, so we're going to put a square root. Right, plug in negative 1 over 12. So it's going to be, let's see, plug in, so it's going to be 6 times negative 1 over 12 and squared, right? So we got that, and then plus, let's see, negative, so negative 1 over 12, right? So we got that, and then you just have to subtract 2, right? And I'm starting to see a problem here, right? So if you look at this, this is going to be a positive number, but it's going to be a very small positive number. It's actually 6 over, let's see, 12 times 12 is 144, right? 6 over 144, right? You are actually subtracting 2, which is already negative, and then you're subtracting even more. So you can see that the expression inside the square root is actually negative, which means that the f of negative 1 over 12 is undefined. So maybe I'll just write that. So this is undefined, all right? All right, so unfortunately, even though we could find the x value, but at that x value, this function is not even defined. So answer is going to be does not exist. All right, let's check the answer. All right, I came back and looks like we got this one correctly. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.